A very warm welcome to IDFC First Bank presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. I'm Ritwika Gupta. Today we are focusing on the hiring sector in India as well as the personal care industry. In the first segment, I'm in conversation with Madhav Krishna, founder and CEO of Vahan. In the second segment, we speak to Swagatika, co-founder Nat Habit. Thank you, Madhav, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, Vahan, from what I understand, is at the forefront of leveraging AI to create meaningful solutions for over 300 million blue-collar workers across India. Tell us about your entrepreneurial journey, Madhav, and how did you really get started?
Sure, happy to talk more about that. Just a quick background on myself. So I started programming at the age of 12. I'm a computer engineer like a lot of Indians. And programming is something that came very naturally to me. So I did a lot of that through school, studied computer engineering in Delhi, and then went to the US and studied AI at Columbia. I spent 7 years in the startup space in the US before deciding to move back to India and to start Vahan. And I had two motivations primarily that led me to do that. A part of it came from seeing the Indian tech ecosystem take off. We have more than 800 million smartphone users in India now. And I feel that we have a once in many generations opportunity to build game-changing products and life-changing products for India's masses. And the second reason I started Vahan was to do something impactful, something that can really change people's lives in a deep and profound way. So we started Vahan with the mission to bring opportunities to people. Today we're doing that in the form of jobs. In fact, we are now placing upwards of 20,000 people every single month. We have become the largest recruitment platform for the gig economy space in India today. So that's our history in a nutshell.
Could you shed some light on how Vahan operates with the existing recruitment agencies? Any differentiating factor perhaps? And of course, the challenges that are in the industry today?
Sure, let me talk about that. So in terms of differentiation, what we do is we make it very, very easy for blue-collar workers to discover jobs. One of the key challenges in the space is that blue-collar workers aren't really aware of the types of jobs that are available in the market or the types of jobs that are getting introduced in the market, right? Gig economy jobs, for example, are very new, so to speak. So a lot of people still don't know that they can make money by delivering food, for example. So what we've done is we've built a very simple bot on WhatsApp that people can chat with and discover jobs that are relevant to them, that are available in their localities, and they can apply for those jobs, right? And they do all of this in their language. We support most major Indian languages, and obviously that's very, very important in a place like India, where we have over 22 major languages and thousands of other dialects, right? So on the worker side, that's how we differentiate. On the employer side, so for example, we work with companies like Zomato, Swiggy, Flipkart, Amazon, Zepto, Uber, Rapido, you name it, we work with them. We are able to provide high volume to them with reliability. So when we commit a number to one of these employers, 9 out of 10 times we make sure we deliver it, right? And that's where technology comes in. Technology is able to facilitate better matching and obviously more scale as well.
Now, Niti Aayog expects a 200% growth in gig employment by 2030. However, there are concerns related to the welfare of gig workers. So how does Vahan look to address these issues?
Yes, that's a great point. The government, in fact, has already done a lot of work to build a benefits layer by introducing the code on Social Security, which was back in 2020. Which is still in the works. I believe that the industry and the government are collaborating very, very deeply to iron out the contours of that code and get it implemented. So work is already underway. That said, as Vahan, what we're doing is trying to build products that can solve for some of the key pain points that gig workers face. It turns out that gig workers go through 6 financial emergencies a year on average, which is 1 every 2 months. And that is very high if you think about it. And the most common financial emergency is health related, where somebody falls sick or somebody gets into an accident. And gig workers don't really have a lot of savings. They don't have account that they can dip into to pay for very, very expensive medical expenses. Most of them aren't insured either, right?
Sure.
So what we've done is we've built a product called Earned Wage Access, which allows gig workers to access their earnings sooner than payday. Most gig platforms pay earner, let's say, on a 15-day or a 30-day basis. We help them get access to their earnings as and when they're actually making them. And that helps them tide over such emergencies. We're also now exploring the possibility of opening up micro insurance products for these people. Most insurance programs, as you know, are based on annual premiums, right? Where you'll pay a lump sum for coverage for a year. But again, given the backgrounds of these people, given their income and economic status, it's very hard for them to shell out such large amounts, and that too for such long-term coverage and periods of time. So instead, what we're building is insurance programs that can cover them maybe even for a day at a time, right? So when they're working, let's say, with a food delivery platform, they can get coverage for just that period of time so that they're covered in the case of an accident or whatever you have. So those are a couple of ways in which we're playing a role.
Okay, Madhav, help us understand the growth potential of the online blue-collar hiring in India, and what sectors do you think stand to benefit the most from it?
So the blue-collar space in India actually is 80% of all jobs in the country. There are close to 500 million jobs in the blue-collar space in India. If you exclude agriculture, you still have close to 300 million jobs. This is expected to grow at about 10 to 15% every year for the next few years. As India becomes the third largest economy in the world, which will be in 2027, will be a $5 trillion economy, right? With that, we're also going to see robust growth in jobs. We're obviously very, very bullish on the e-commerce and grocery sector. That's the sector in which we are the market leader. You've probably heard news of Flipkart, for example, getting into this space as well. Jio as well has announced that they will get into this space. So the landscape of the grocery delivery space in India is absolutely going to change in the next couple of years. But beyond just delivery and e-commerce, there's heavy growth in manufacturing that's coming up as well. In fact, just in Tamil Nadu, in the next 2 to 3 years, we expect close to 6 million jobs to be created. Given what's happening around the world, especially in China, supply chain related issues, and the fact that India is opening up to the world, India, obviously, the government has done a great job with introducing Make in India, as well as policies that are really facilitating the growth of manufacturing. All of these factors are coming together to drive very, very heavy growth in that sector.
And well, since you're optimizing AI for Vahan, could you tell us how do you foresee the Indian AI ecosystem growing in comparison to the global industry?
The speed at which AI innovation is happening in the Valley is way, way ahead of where we are today in India. In fact, people are already envisioning data centers in space to run some of the AI tech that's getting built. Right? In fact, the progress is only accelerating, not slowing down at all. So I expect that some of the things we thought would be possible maybe 5 years down the line will actually become possible in the next year or two. India, on the other hand, I believe still needs to do a lot to be able to catch up with what's going on in the West. Obviously, there is a resourcing challenge here. Building AI technology and running AI technology is actually very, very expensive. In fact, that's one of the places where India can innovate. The other thing that's very unique about India is obviously our diversity in terms of languages, dialects, culture, etc. And it's going to be very difficult for companies in the West to build models that can handle all of these nuances and the diversity. And I believe that Indian companies will be better placed to build for those types of dynamics. That said, we still do need to do a lot to accelerate our progress in this space. And some investments have started to come in. So I hope that those will only ramp up as time goes on.
Well, thank you, Madhav. It was great chatting with you.
Fantastic. Thank you for having me.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.
The missions are to be able to deliver absolutely fantastic, great products to the entire world. Not just on the back of naturalness or Ayurveda, or just because it is made in India. No, we want to take a real R&D to the world. Not just say that Ayurveda stemmed out of this country, but also to make people believe that research can come out of India. It's not just that research exists in the US or in the Europe. Fundamental research can happen in this country, and great products can come out of this country, not just relying on Ayurveda.
Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. In this segment, we are in conversation with Swagatika Das, co-founder Nat Habit. Thank you, Swagatika, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, the beauty and personal care sector is fairly cluttered, yet your company is aiming to make authentic, natural beauty and personal care accessible to every Indian household. Tell me, how did you choose to focus on this?
If you look at the beauty and personal care space, of course it is cluttered. It had to be because it's so fundamental to women. But there was really a need for somebody to come up with super fresh, absolutely 100% natural products, because that's what the consumer demands, right? What you see in the market, yes, there are to some extent natural products available, but what we were trying to get to was 100% natural, 100% raw, whole, fresh fruits, fresh milk, fresh aloe vera right on your face and hair, right? So that's something that was not available in the market, and that gave us a lot of confidence because we had the strength of our own manufacturing, our own R&D, and we knew we could build something that the consumer really wanted and was not finding it in the market.
Swagatika, help us understand about your R&D processes and supply chains. How have they allowed you to maintain your USP of natural products?
We have a 12 to 15 member team at any point of time running our R&D. It's a very highly focused team that works on three primary dimensions. One is bringing out efficacy out of natural ingredients. Just because something is natural does not mean it's going to be great on your skin or hair. So that is one direction where the scientists are continuously working on extracting the best out of these naturals for skin and hair. The second dimension or the layer is around sensorials and form factors. How do you make a product which is convenient to use, which is great to absorb, which does not leak, which does not separate out water, right? And the third layer in this R&D is on shelf life. Because these products don't have any kind of chemical preservatives in them, they have a shorter shelf life. How do you work on them to make sure that the formulations last longer so that they don't inconvenience the customer? You work on the formulation, you work on the process, you work on the packaging so that the shelf life gets increased. So that's how we manage our R&D. Coming to supply chain, we have about 800 to 900 ingredients and packaging material. We manage a very, very close supply chain with the help of our internal ERP. We've built out the entire system because it's difficult to manage a fresh supply chain. Imagine dealing with fresh milk on a daily basis, right? It's difficult, but we've built out our own automated engines around this to be able to manage this.
And well, as a majorly D2C brand, what were your initial challenges and what is your strategy going forward?
Because we provide fresh personal care, it was very difficult to position in marketplaces like a Nykaa or an Amazon or a Flipkart. We had to sell it by ourselves, right? And when you do that by yourself, the marketing costs shoot up significantly in a short period of time. It of course allowed us to know our customers really well. We worked on our products very well. We got feedback quickly. Our ability to give what the customers really wanted was much easier when we were doing D2C. But marketing challenges were very high. There were lots of customers who would come search on these platforms like Amazon and Nykaa and not find us, and somebody else is taking away our demand, right? So that was the primary challenge. And of course, there was the challenge of supply chain handling, that constant need to evolve on R&D. So those were special challenges for us. But as a D2C brand, I think the biggest challenge is if you're not able to expand to where the customer is coming to, then you are in a soup. So that we were able to overcome when we had longer shelf life products. When our R&D advanced further, then we were able to move on to marketplaces like Nykaa and Amazon.
Swagatika, I understand Nat Habit recently crossed 100 crore mark in its revenue. Could you shed some light on what factors helped you achieving this target?
We were very clear on building a great portfolio of products. We've always been very clear that this brand will not be built out of just a consumer gap, but an overlay of consumer gap and a great product. If you don't have a great product, at least we as founders, myself and Gaurav, we fundamentally didn't believe that we could go and market something where the foundation didn't have a great product. So that was the primary reason why we have won so far. The second layer is, of course, the team. It's very difficult to achieve scale without a great team. We've constantly focused on building an innovative team, a team that fundamentally believes in honesty and transparency, because that's what we are trying to offer to the consumers as well. These pretty much have been the two big levers or pillars of our success, the product and the team.
Fantastic. Now, beauty spends have also gone beyond metro consumers, which for a major part of it, were the target consumers. So what consumer trends have you observed from the tier 2 and 3 cities?
So about 30% of our business comes from cities beyond the top 15 cities. Right? If I imagine buying a product that is as expensive or probably twice as expensive as a Himalaya or a Nivea or a Patanjali, I am surprised myself seeing that there is this latent demand, there is that desire, that curiosity to go try out something new, and that is expensive. They're trying to indulge in new form factors. They're trying to indulge in products like underarm uptons, in foot uptons, in form factors like Nutri-Masks. These are new products. But the tier 2, tier 3 cities are already opening up to newer kind of products and wanting to spend more on their regular products as well.
Swagatika, since you also spoke about the shorter shelf life of your products compared to conventional products in this industry, tell me, does that deter the consumers from making the purchases? And if so, how are you looking to modify the consumer mindset?
It's very difficult to modify the consumer mindset if it's an inconvenience, right? So if a customer wants the shelf life to be 2 months or 3 months, and you're not able to deliver on it, they might see you as a great product, as a great brand, but they will eventually end up not purchasing frequently. So we don't intend to change the customer behavior to an extent that it is a super inconvenient thing for them. What we, on the other hand, do is we invest in R&D to be able to extend the shelf life of these products, right? But a 3-month to 6-month shelf life is not an inconvenience for most of the products, because we package or size our products in a manner that they get completed or they get over way before the shelf life ends up.
Sure. Now, with natural Indian products gaining global attention, whether it's tea, spices or beauty remedies as well, tell me, as an Indian company, what global ambitions do you harbor? Tell us, what is your vision for Nat Habit?
The missions are to be able to deliver absolutely fantastic, great products to the entire world. Not just on the back of naturalness or Ayurveda, or just because it is made in India. No, we want to take our real R&D to the world. Not just say that Ayurveda stemmed out of this country, but also to make people believe that research can come out of India. It's not just that research exists in the US or in the Europe. Fundamental research can happen in this country, and great products can come out of this country, not just relying on Ayurveda. A lot of the processes that were defined by Ayurveda come out, but on top of it, we're able to layer a layer of R&D that we can take to the global consumers. So that's pretty much the ambition, and the pull of Ayurveda and nature, of course, is a tailwind for us.
Well, I wish you all the best. Swagatika, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you again for having me.
With that, it's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 12. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.